Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing themselves. Welcome to the first ESDL Insider Podcast. My name is XX Howling XX, and I'm joined by
X Factor 709.
I'm flanking Dino.
And today we have a plethora of topics to discuss, starting with what tools that ESDL provides that we don't use, why is there so much subbing going on, and we're going to talk about our first community event that we are going to throw as the ambassadors, is what they've named us, community ambassadors. So let's dive right on in to our first segment, Around the ESDL. Let's go. What was that? I said around, not Cabbage Patch. What is that? That is not the same. All right.
So I don't know dance moves. I'm not hip.
All right.
Bust out the Cabbage Patch real quick.
Starting with Division A. Division A on Monday, the Angry Yordles coming in at 8-2, while SCG, stands for Cool Gamer Z, is coming in at a 9-2. Both on paper look very evenly matched, but only one of them can take the championship or take their place forward in the championship. So I'm actually looking forward to that one. I know that we have somebody that's in our group or that plays on the Angry Yordles. Don't remember exactly who, but I'm definitely looking forward to that match.
And after playing with a couple of them, they are a strong team. They have a lot of chemistry amongst each other when they're all together as a five, and that's going to be a very interesting game because if you look on paper, they're both top of that division, and Super Cool Gamers coming off a 2-1 in their semifinal game, but still showed a way that they could fight through and deal with what they had to deal with to get to the finals. So that's going to be a very fun game to watch that I actually really want to watch once it is complete.
Definitely, I'm thinking about casting that one, but we'll figure that one out as we start moving into Division BB, and I'm going to talk about this one because it's on Wednesday, and it's Goon Platoon versus that one team. Gloom Platoon looking undefeated and dominating in their last couple of events. Go into this next one undefeated, hoping that that one team can actually take them down. I'm not going to ask your opinions on it. Reason being is it's the Goon Platoon we're talking to. So
on a serious note, though, that one team was the team that's given us issues this season. Though we did beat them on several occasions, they actually did cause us the most problems. So that's going to be a fun game for, I would hope, both sides, because in our part, so we're actually really excited because that is the one team that we did want to see when we got to the finals, and we're glad that it is them.
So I'm glad too. You want to take Tuesday?
Well, we got Tuesday. We're looking at the Triple B division, where we got Team Wetfire and Rainbow Kittens. Both
First
of them
and foremost, Rainbow Kittens. Come on,
hey, bro. I didn't choose it. We'll have to talk to them later about it.
I want to know where we got that from.
Some
Rainbow
good
Kittens.
Creativity, huh?
I wonder if it's the non-cat. The non-cat.
Oh, it's got to be, right? So both teams are coming off at 5-1, and actually both of their losses came in week 1 against each other. So they actually split week 1 1-1. On paper, they're pretty evenly matched what it seems like across the board. So it's going to be interesting, and it's actually their last regular season game before they go into playoffs. Now, they won't see each other in playoffs round 1, but this is the possible setup to the finals of this division. So that actually is going to be another fun one that could shape out to be what the finals could potentially look like in that division for Tuesday.
And we can definitely going to try to get a correspondent to take a look at it and make sure that we have that game covered, because we want to cover every game that we think is going to be, interesting.
Of course.
All right. You want to take Thursday planking?
We've got a Triple B, again, and that's going to be a Thursday match for Caged Monkeys versus NA3D. Both teams are coming into it at 1-1. On paper, they look like the Cage Monkeys are going to have the lead. But it's still pretty early into the season, so we'll see what's coming out of that.
So Cage Monkey's gonna have the lead. Is just any indicator, if anyone from the Cage Monkeys happens to hear this, we'd like to hear from you. That or NA3D. Why don't you have a name?
Come on, we gotta have a name before the season starts.
We
my
need
boys.
we need it.
We need the
names,
beautiful.
Like we need names, bro, because it's the funniest part of the show.
But at least we can at least find out who it is. But
Right,
it is
definitely.
still, like Plankton said, it's still early. So I mean, the first week it's only a small sample size of what that could potentially turn out to, and we could still see chemistry develop between teams easily going into the next couple of weeks. So it's a toss up on that game, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's it for the week coming up, and those are we don't we want to do those on Friday, or we want to talk about that one now?
We can talk about that one later in the week because we'll have another one coming out later.
Okay,
So
right.
we'll be all right for right now.
Right. So, but let's talk. So today is Sunday as we're recording this, and something happened this afternoon that I want to talk about, and it leads us into our big topic. During the games this afternoon, we had a lot of substitutes. We had a lot of people subbing out for championship games, no less. And I wanted to ask you guys, why did I tried to get the person who subbed out to actually answer some questions. Hey, why are you subbing right now? Because I know personal things come up and we don't condemn it if you have something personal come up. But the level of, the amount of subs means that there's something going on. And I kind of wanted to dig a little deeper. So, my question to you guys is, why so many subs?
You want to start it, Plankin?
I mean, just looking at it this afternoon, I saw like 6 or 7 for different teams just for the Sunday division. And I actually ended up substituting on a team, but I guess there was a bug in their system, and every single time that I would get added into the Discord, I would be removed, like, I'm going to say like 30 minutes later, and they would try to add a new substitute. It wouldn't stick.
Right.
So I believe they need to fix their substitution words. They need to fix their subsystem.
Right.
In order for us to actually be able to properly help everybody out.
But my idealism isn't toward ESDL and what they need to fix at this point, because again, that is definitely a point, and that's something that's valid that we can bring to them. But I'm asking, why do you think the players themselves, why are they subbing out on such an important game?
I won't get too deep into my main reasoning by it because I think that's going to be our topic for Friday.
Right.
But I think it has to do with toxicity as a main focal point, and I think it's a buildup that happens over the 6-week period of time, where it usually gets to a point where some people just aren't comfortable playing with other people. Outside of possibility of playing with people that you've never actually played before, or played with before, I mean,
but
I think it makes some people uncomfortable. I actually do think that's and you would think that.
League, right?
I actually found that to be, when I first joined, I actually liked that aspect. I got to group up with 5 people I never met before.
Right.
And 2 things I wanted out of it: have a fun competitive scene of League of Legends and possibly make some new friends. And that's what happened in both of mine. Was it frustrating season 1 for me? It was very frustrating. I think we won 1 game in our first season. It was frustrating as hell.
Right.
But it developed friendships with players, which led to more friendships. And now I go into my second season with Blanking, where we decided to group up and make ourselves a 5 team with more friends. And now it's more fun than ever, actually. And we can feel the chemistry grow and things are going well. Some people, I just think they're not comfortable in that matter. And it makes me wonder why you would sign up alone to begin with if that is the case. I hope that's not the case. That's what it's coming off as, is people being uncomfortable, willing to work with people they've never played with before.
All right. And that leads me perfectly into the next piece of our topic. So, do you think any of these people has taken the mental training that comes along with the ESDL?
Let's be real. How many people actually know about the mental training to begin with?
I know. I know that they don't. It's not promoted as much as I wish they would promote it. So, along with their video of first signing up for the ESDL, where they tell you make sure you get your Discord and you check in and you turn gold and everything like that.
Mhm.
And by the way, this mental program is actually mandatory before you get drafted to a team. And
Yeah.
and the reason
That-
being
It
is
was actually. Now that I think back on it, you're right. It was.
And the reason being is because of what it does. So, number one, let me explain it. So, John Melling, I've actually got the name spelled correctly. After like 30 minutes, I had to ask ESDL, how do you spell John Melling? Because I put Mel,
That was a
M-A-L.
conversation yesterday. That was a hell of a
Mail.
conversation yesterday.
I'm like, well, I'm
You
mailing.
got
I'm
mail.
like, yeah, he's mailing you some news. I don't know. But
Melling.
John Melling is a psychological coach for several esports teams, as well as regular sports psychologists for different actual, I wouldn't say actual sports, but more like basketball, football, things of that nature. So he compiled this course using what those pros do, as well as Leo Tversky's Power of Now series. If you've ever heard of that book, where it stresses the point of being present in the game right now. Not worrying
Okay.
about 10 minutes ago, not worrying about 15 minutes ago. You're worried about right now. And focusing on how to make yourself uncomfortable, how to figure out how to make yourself comfortable when you're uncomfortable, and changing your mindset from solo queue to team play.
And it is a very different animal, to be honest with you. Team play from solo queue is a whole other animal.
And I think
I-
that's what we're getting, right? We're getting a lot
Yeah.
of people that thinks that this is like, I'm not saying that they don't realize what's going on. I'm saying that to seriously understand the severity of going from being a person who all I care about is my performance. If I do my job, my teammates have to do theirs. I can do what I can. To a bruh, you have to communicate, you have to bend in that type of nature. It's different. It's like being in a relationship in some people. In
So
some
basically,
point.
what you're saying is you think they're basically coming in their first season of ESTL with the same mindset as solo queue.
Yeah. It's definitely what I came in with. But as soon as I made friends with you guys, it was easier to make it into a kind of team sport. And that's what we're not seeing many of the newbies do. But it can't be all based on them. Like, it's not their fault. I just think everybody should be required to do
The mental training.
the courses
Right.
before they begin ESDL.
So here's a little side thing then.
Okay.
Since they call it a requirement, it's not forced upon you though. If you, because to be honest, I walked in and I actually did the first 2 weeks of our first season without touching the thing because I actually didn't realize it was there.
Exactly.
So
It's not mandatory.
why not? I don't know if there's a way they can do this. Why not make it once you sign up, it's a requirement. You have to take it. And they show that you have a complete and continue tab after you watch either one. Basically checking off saying that you watched it.
Right.
How about you can't be drafted until you finish at least even half of it? Because I know there's 7 videos I believe
It's not
ranging from
It's not that long. I
4
did it
to
on my
7
lunch
minutes.
break.
And they're really not that long.
They're
But
2
I know some
minutes
people don't
apiece.
want to. I'm assuming most people don't want to sit in front of their computers for up to a half hour just watching videos.
They're 2 minutes apiece.
And I get it. Some
And their
people are
voice
not patient enough
things.
to do it. They are. You could literally listen to
You
them
could just
while playing
listen.
League.
Just
You could
listen.
listen to them playing League if you wanted to. How much would you focus? I don't know. So I would suggest not doing that.
Right.
But
I wouldn't
point is,
suggest it,
you could listen
but
in the background.
at least we can hold you to a certain standard at that point. So
Agreed.
we've given you that training, right? We've given you the training. It's out there. It's in your head. Some of these concepts aren't even in the people who sign up heads. Like one
It's
of the
not.
concepts that he ran into the ground was clearing your mind of everything that came before it and focusing on now. How to make yourself centered and present in the now. Now the power of now is an emotional break where you as a person focus all of the joules of your energy onto one particular task, and it breaks you in to a mental flow. Now I don't know if you I play a lot of fighting games, right? I play a lot of fighting games, and this one came from Takedo. Takedo is a Japanese
Yep.
Street Fighter player, one of the best in the world, right? And he describes entering a flow state. He describes entering a flow state as in he's doing his mind, he's no longer getting in his own mental way. He's focused on the game. He's receiving information through his eyes and ears, but his mind isn't doing anything. His mind isn't processing the data where it's like, okay, I got to do this. And no, he's completely out of his own way. He does what comes natural to him and make it work. So you get information from your teammates, put it into your head, and then y'all flow together. Once you all enter a flow state, I've seen where when you're playing a game and everything just works. No matter what you do, it just works. This is when you're no longer in your own way. And that's the power of this course that's just not being taken.
And what you're saying is definitely easier said than done, but that is, like you just said, that is the point of these voice videos, these voice recordings that you get to listen to. The whole point is to give you the idea and how to do it.
Right. And to help you enter that state. Now, whether you do it or not, that's up to you and how much you're willing to put into it. But you can't say that the ESDL doesn't look after your, what you want and who you are and everything like that. Like, oh, the ESDL don't develop us. Well,
Maybe
they're
taking the
giving you
courses.
tools. They're giving you
know?
some useful tools that surprisingly enough would help you become a better player if you use them.
And that's the
You-
point.
You
But-
can't expect them to just sit there and hold your hand. They don't have enough manpower to go through every single one person and be like, hey, you would really benefit from taking this course, just reaching out to them one by one when it should be the player trying to use these utilities
Right.
to their benefit.
And again, this is why we're bringing these utilities up. That program I A1 in my opinion, because of course I read The Power of Now and I know that book front and back. It's the reason why I'm as calm of a person as I am, because not wild casting, because wild casting I'm a totally different
You're
person. I'm a whole different
I was about
person.
to mention the pencil,
I'm a whole
Yeah.
different person. The
Break the
pencil
pencils.
and the personality and everything like that. But when I'm in the power of, like, when I'm playing and there's a state that I'm in where I'm really really focused on doing something, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it feels amazing that way. So, other than training, another unutilized tool is reporting. And I don't mean just reporting people, right? So, look, she perked up when this, she was like,
She was ready for this one.
I have something to say. So,
She
another
was ready for this one.
underutilized tool is actually reporting. When you have a problem in ESDL, like, report everything. Don't report just some stuff. Like, we need to know if your SOL scout is messed up, because we've gotten stories where people are men when they're actually girls. People
Still is.
I'm still a man, guys.
people are men when they're actually girls. People are people are men. People playing roles that they never played.
Zareth Jungle.
You
Yeah.
got Zareth Jungle. You have
My
Nautilus.
Calista support.
You have
And granted,
Nautilus mid.
I understand that LOL Sports got a lot on their hand, and they're not going to be able to fix everything right on the spot. That's completely understandable.
Right.
But still put in that report. Just let them know, hey, on my thing you have me put me down as a female. I'm actually a male. Could you
Right.
please fix that when you have time? Something as simple as that is helping. Helping not just you, it's helping ESDL,
Right.
their sources, which is LOL Scout, and the community getting information right.
Correct. 'Cause-
You're helping 4 things with a simple report of just lending a hand.
And on top of that, I've talked to someone, can't say who this is, just people that just says that they don't have enough reports to know what to fix. It's just plainly they don't know what to fix. They think
And-
it's fine because no one reported anything. No one said anything.
Yeah, and I understand like the fear of, you know, not wanting to be on someone's bad side by reporting them. But if they're being toxic to you and the team, they're not showing up for practices, they're
Let's
just
go.
genuinely not trying to be a part
Let's
of
go.
the team. You know, they don't need to be on your team.
We're all. I would think everyone would come into ESDL with a high enough maturity, where this isn't elementary school, middle school anymore, where you're considered a tattletale. Step up, do something that most people would be afraid of doing. Don't be afraid to step up and put your say in. And the best way to put your say in is filing that report on that player or that problem, because you're paying to play in this league. If you're going to sit there and allow the teammates around you or the players that you're playing against around you to be toxic or just to make it a unplayable situation in your mind, well, what's the point of you paying that money then? You could have done that in solo queue.
Right. If that's the way you wanted it to be, you could have did that. But
I mean, I know everybody reports people in solo queue, so what's the difference in a league?
It's no different. It
no
really
different.
isn't.
No different.
Only here, the reports here will be dealt with in a very timely manner.
Exactly.
And not just get a 5-game chat restriction.
And on top of that, if they get reported 3 times, they're out.
Which we're not saying we want people out per se.
I want them out. I disagree. I want them out.
Don't get me wrong. The people that are not being helpful to the community, yes, those are the people we do want.
I want them gone.
But there are some people that probably come in, like we discussed before, with that solo queue mind. That solo queue mind is a completely different aspect. But if they can realize the wrong they're doing and fix it, give them the chance to fix it. Don't just say, you know what, you're toxic, get out. We don't want that per se.
And that's why ESDL is in charge and not me. Because if
this is also true.
Straight up, if I was in charge,
nobody left with howling.
I'm sorry, you're toxic. Come here, let me just don't let the door hit you. Don't let the door hit you. Go on. Go on.
So from experience on reports, it sounds to me that ESDL does give people a couple chances, which is not a bad thing, depending on the circumstance. So I don't think I've heard of anything crazy, absurd go out of line yet. So they give people chances, and that's a good thing because people deserve a second chance, in my opinion, as long as it's not over the top.
Like and
we all
there's a level. So
there is,
and the level I reached is what happened to planking. That's my level. That's my level.
I'm assuming you want to bring that up now, so we might as well bring that up.
I already said we don't need to discuss like the name. We can discuss.
No, there's no need to bring up the name.
I want to bring up the particulars of what it was that, not that what happened, because that'll give away what happened. But I want you to say what was toxic in our opinion. So because again, that's just a level that I don't agree with. Period. So
and no one should, to be honest.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with that level of negativity toward losing like that. But Blanket?
It wasn't just the fact that he had lost to me. It was before game, the same amount of toxicity, and he just carried it into game, which made him just sit and stew. And when it came to me playing against him, it was suddenly, you know, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's a woman beating me in ESDL. So,
bit over the top.
Now
it's a bit over the top.
You see that? That's gone. Get out of my league.
And the worst thing, again, we're not saying names, but it's that toxicity from that player started way beforehand, even before our game even took place. And you could see it. We didn't have to read nothing. We didn't have to be in a room to listen to it. You could hear it.
Right. And that's the point of this is that's the type of level, like when you get to that level of toxicity, I want you gone. There's no rehabilitating you. Like, here's the thing. I believe in everybody can grow and learn from their mistakes. But that's not a mistake. You intentionally felt that way from the jump and then carried it throughout. You ruined not only Plankin's time in that game, but your teammates too, because he was flaming his teammates at the end of it. That person is 100% cancer, not breast cancer, the one we march to and have the little ribbons for. No, he was straight up 100% the worst cancer I could possibly find. Get him out of here.
And you know what? I hate to say this, I really do, and I wish this was fixed already. But we're going on a week now where even his after game toxicity is still shown. And what I mean by that is it took the liberty of taking a team name and making it public for people to see and made it into a manner that's not appropriate. And it's still to this day shown here. And I think we've said something. I'm kind of surprised it's not fixed yet, but maybe that's something we can work on in the upcoming day or two.
But what I'm saying is, this is the stuff that's really, really needs to be changed. This is what I mean by cleaning up our community. Stuff like that, where they're changing names, derogatory. I don't want you in my league. I don't want you near me.
Yeah.
And you know what? This all circles back into where we started, which is getting that mental training stuff in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I really feel it needs to be a requirement before you get drafted to watch these videos.
Yeah.
It will not take you longer than an hour to sit there, listen, click, do something on the side, but still be focused enough to pay attention to what you're listening to.
Exactly.
It will take you no more than an hour. I feel like it's very important.
I feel like it's really important because it switches the mindset from being in solo queue to here. But another thing that I'm kind of in for right now is our coaching program. Our coaching program is hit or miss.
It is.
It's
and I
hit
hate
or
to
miss.
say, in my personal opinion, it's way more of a miss than it is a hit.
I can
And
tell you
that. I mean that in sincerity.
right. I mean, it's hit or miss, and that's real. It's hit or miss, and that shouldn't be the case. One of the reasons, and X Factor, I'm going to leave you to telling this story. I think this was you that was telling the story about you getting put onto a team.
This wasn't particularly me, but I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Okay, so got put onto a team. Got put onto a team when he first signed up for ESDL, but he didn't mean to sign up for coaching. He meant to sign up. I want to be coached, but he ended up signing up, clicking the box because he thought he was going to get a coach, but ended up getting put on a team of golds and platinums as a silver player, I think.
It was pretty close to that. So
something like that, right?
The situation was that the player that this happened to, like you said, thought he was being coached and found out he signed up to be a coach.
Right.
And when he was assigned a team, he first got signed to a team. The first team they assigned him to was an all bronze team as a low gold. And he didn't say anything about it. Not a bad thing. He actually tried to lend a hand, but I guess from my understanding is they actually pulled him from that team. Not entirely sure why. He actually doesn't know why. It wasn't due to any reports. They just pulled him.
Right.
So the second team he got put to was all plats and a gold 1. And he is a gold 4 player. I hate to say this. I don't think plat players are going to listen to a low gold player. Now, they might take his input on some things, but for the most part, they're not going to listen.
Yeah.
And I can understand why. It's definitely a broken system, in my opinion. It's
I don't understand
very
that.
broken.
I don't understand that.
Because when I first signed up, I actually thought that box that I checked off was for the same reason. I thought I was going to be coached by someone or being part of a coaching aspect. And luckily, I wasn't one of the people that got assigned to be a coach because I can't do that. There ain't no way in hell I can be a coach for someone. It'd be ugly.
So
But I think there might need to be more clarification on that
Right.
when the sign-up process happens.
definitely. But what ends up happening is a lot of coaches are in that same predicament and just leave the teams high and dry. They leave the
Yeah.
teams high and dry, and they don't know. And then they ended up coaching themselves, and toxicity ensues because there's no structure for them. So for some people, you don't need structure. Like you drop me in a team, I'm structured. I know what we need to get done. Hey, bro, what champion you got? When is practice? Do you know when to practice? Can you practice? What's about practice? Practice, practice. Bro, what you doing? We need to practice. I'm one of
That's
those.
another thing we got to talk about after. Let me tell you.
Let me. When is
Let me
practice,
finish the coaching thing first, though.
bro?
There's been like several different teams that have been like, yeah, we have a coach, but he hasn't said anything in like 3 weeks and is just kind of like sitting in the Discord.
So you
I
don't
kn-
have a
Not
coach, is
talking
what
to
you're
us.
telling me.
Pretty
Right.
much. And like, I guess like either they didn't know, they weren't alerted, or they just didn't care. But I think we have to have like an actual server dedicated to coaches that want to learn to be coaches.
Or
Even
willing to at
with their
least help
knowledge.
lower level players. So
Now
I
go
think,
back. Now go back a second. Did you know that you could report a coach?
Yes.
yes, that is actually something that I think most people actually don't realize. But
Hey, other
yes, we're
teams.
actually some of the
Hey,
few.
teams. You realize you can report a coach?
If you feel like a coach is not helping or not doing their due diligence that they are set out to do, don't be afraid to reach out to ESDL support and let
Listen
them
to
know.
that guy. Listen to that guy.
They will deal with it. They will say something. They'll, of course, they'll give that coach a chance. But make the attempt. Try.
Right. No, seriously. All seriousness.
That goes back to the reporting
Report.
thing. Stop being
Exactly.
afraid.
Gotta
Report.
report.
You're not a bad person for reporting.
But
I feel
you're
like a bad person.
but you're right. Why?
I don't know. It's the human being in me is like, oh, he spent money.
Okay.
And
Can I
maybe some
explain?
people do feel that way.
Can I put this to you in a perspective that might change your mind?
That I also spent money.
No. No. I'm gonna even do it a little. I'm gonna do it a little bit more flary than that. Let's say you go out to a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You go out to a restaurant, right? And there is a hair in your water.
Mm.
Not yours.
Oh.
This is a bright red/blue hair in your water. Not your hair. Not your hair.
My hair is red and purple.
Oh my God. Not your hair. Not your hair.
Well, then say like blonde or something.
Okay. Blonde. Don't know colors. What? Blonde. Blonde. Okay. Blonde hair is in your cup of water, right? Do you report her to the manager, or do you ask her first, hey, get me another cup of water? There's hair in this one. What you do?
Second.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
What am I going to do with you? What am I going to do with you?
I'm a server.
But so hold on.
But-
As a server, you should know
Right.
if people inform you that there was hair in their food, you can't disagree with them. You have to try to make it right by trying to fix that issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
the same way on the other side, though. You would hope that if that happened to you, you would want it made right by being fixed or
Right.
something of the sorts.
So just fix
it goes
it,
both ways.
right? You just fix it. So this is allocated to me coming in you as a player. Me, a player-to-player thing. Hey, bruh, listen, I feel like the way you're talking, the way you put down the team, the way you derogatory us toward because of our ranks is unfair, it's unjust, and we've seen it happen not against an enemy team, but on the team that they're on, where they constantly belittle these people because they had two bronze players, and that's all they yelled about. Oh, we would do better if we didn't have two bronze players. We'd do better if we had two bronze players, instead of working with them and bringing them up. So, what was I saying? So you go to them like, hey, bro, you're being a little bit derogatory. Can you stop? Now let's say she gets all uppity with you. I clean my hair. I wash my hair. I got shampoo and conditioner. I got shampoo and conditioner. I wash that cup. Blah blah blah. All right.
There's still hair in my water.
It's still hair in your water. Exactly.
Mhm.
There's still hair in your water.
And that goes the same way when it comes to league. You can say
I
all
don't
you
want hair
want,
in my
but
water.
She's just
but if they
hair in your
if
water.
they continue to be the same person that you're not enjoying to be around or making the team come down,
Mhm.
it's still the same problem. If
So-
you don't put a report in, nothing can be done about it.
And that's what we're trying to
One or
fix.
two things are going to happen. That person's going to leave out of just pure frustration and being tilted into absolute oblivion, and they're going to be so sick of it they don't care anymore. Or you're going to end up leaving, which means you just wasted $25 and anywhere from a week to 6 weeks of your time playing something that literally made you not happy and it gave you an enjoyable time in playing League. You
Right.
basically wasted your time and money.
And that's the
Put-
worst.
Absolute worst.
And there's still
it's
hair in
silly.
your water.
Yeah, I don't like hair in my water.
And there's still hair in your water. That's a fact. But
There's hair in my water for the first season.
speaking of
Yeah, there was.
practice policy, you
Thank
knew I was
you.
going here. You knew we
And
were
this is
going
exactly where I want to go. This is something big I want to get into.
here. So
Same.
practice policy. And I'm reading this right off of the ESDL website for practice frequency. Practices are not required. That means your teammates must not always want to practice as much as you do because practices are not required. There is no disciplinary action for teammates who do not practice. Do you think this policy is fair, and what can we do to change it?
Fair to an extent. So I understand people have outside
Is it-
lives away from League. Completely understandable. Maybe you only have access to playing League 2 days a week. Maybe on the weekends. Maybe only on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Fine. You don't have that time to practice. There's a reason why they give you that box to check off yes or no. Are you able to practice, or are you willing to practice? Here's the issue where it's 50-50 for me. If I'm someone that checked off yes, I'm willing to practice, and I get put on a team with two members of that team that checked off not willing to practice, that's very difficult to come around, and it's difficult to not only build chemistry, but it feels like you're being left alone in certain times when you want to practice with your team. The drafting process needs to be fixed on that. If you check off the box that you want to be able to practice with your team, or at least attempt it, be put with 4 other members that also have that checked off. So you guys can talk and figure out a schedule that works best. The team that we're on right now, we get 1 day of practice a week. It's only 1 day. We're
And it
on
makes
every
a
day,
difference, though.
but it's 1 day, and that 1 day goes so far. Imagine 2 days, 3 days. Yes, we're undefeated in our league now. We could be so much better if we had more days, and we know this. We know we're not perfect, but that 1 day of
Walking
practice,
forward, Planky.
it feels so much better than not getting any.
Planky walking forward.
And I mean,
Hey, leave my
you
kid
walk,
out of this.
and I get it. If you can't practice, you can't practice. There's nothing wrong with that. It's probably best that it's stated right off the bat when you first get drafted to a team, or like I said, fix the drafting system where you get put on a team that also has these things checked off, because it causes so many problems early on when you want to work with a team and you can't.
Right. I mean, and then my biggest piece of it is we're a development league. And in
Yeah.
order to develop, you must
We need to
practice.
practice.
You must
Correct.
practice. My
Correct.
guy. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't just
I don't
pick up
understand not being able to, like, I understand everybody's busy schedules, but even like day of, you can set aside like an hour or two just to get the team together to run through some basic games. You can do flex. I mean, that's what we do.
Perfect example. So what we do is we typically get on as a team 2 to 3 hours before our game. We'll run probably 2, maybe 3 games if we have time to work out any rust kinks from the week. Go over maybe a strategy we want to attempt or something we may want to try pulling during our games. Then we also use that practice time as a scouting thing, which is a lot of people I feel like do not do. In
Right.
a serious league, even minimum scouting is better than none on the team you're going against. And it's not hard to do so. There is plenty of ways to scout, and it doesn't take long. I think we spend a half hour tops to scout all 5 members, top 3, 4 picks, what they would play as a team. It doesn't take long.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was on a team today, and they're like, I was like, hey, do you guys have your picks and bans ready? And they're like, no, honestly, we've had nothing but a bunch of subs, so we've never been on top of that. And I was like, well, I mean, I can throw this together for you like 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I had their like most of the team's background, what they like to play, and finally had bans, and it went over really well, causing us to get the upper hand.
See, I mean, but it's these little small things that make the toxicity, which is our next episode of LOL. But it's not just on one side. Is what I'm noticing. So yeah, yes, there's a box that for practice that needs to be checked. But the whole point of the problem is we are a development league. If I put out a poll tonight asking ESDL, why did you join the league? I bet you 92 to 95% it is to improve. You cannot improve without practice. And I
They give
Well, I
believe
you,
mean, they ask you
give
that
yeah.
when you join the league. It was
you
like, why are you
cannot.
joining the league? For
You have 3
improvement, for
options:
fun.
have fun, improve, or get paid. Now, there's going to be a couple people that put get paid. I hate to tell you, you're not getting paid playing in the ESDL, so just stop thinking that's going to happen.
First and foremost, you can get paid. So let's get that part clear. You can
You
get paid.
can, but not in the mindset that I think they're coming in thinking they can be.
But you have to clear your mind that you're not an individual. When you click get paid and realize that you're no longer not talking about me. The team will get paid. The team. Because when you think me getting paid, then you try to go in and do your highlight reel or your highlight plays, your forward flashes into the entire team as Yasuo, and you get murdered and no one follows you in. Hey, I didn't flash into everybody, just 2 people.
No, I'm talking about
Yeah.
him.
You got to remember, our
The
screens
flash
look
to the
different.
dragon pit.
So she's pointing to me with my amazing, absolutely incredible flash into Dragon Pit on all 5, miss smite, die to nothing, and
Yep.
look absolutely stupid doing it.
But
that was a good day.
If you're trying to do your highlight reel, you don't get it from this league. Your highlight reel is playing together as a team. I would get drafted on a team of bronze and diamonds players before anyone else. Because of the way I am as a person, because of my attitude and the way I think about the game. If I'm gonna die, am I gonna die to further our team's advantages? Am I going to risk myself for this? I don't care about how I look. I don't care about my KDA. I only care about winning.
You know what? I think something to actually link together with the coaching and the practice thing.
Right.
Just something that actually ran my mind now. So a practice thing actually involves coaching as well, and that includes the coach that is assigned to a team. I think with this coaching program, what they should consider doing is, of course, you want to try to assign as even teams as possible, which usually varies between I don't know what is it, divisions in leagues. So like silver 4, silver 3, silver 2, silver 1. You know what I mean? Usually within 5 or 6 is usually where they try to keep it. Why not give them a coach that is a full rank higher than their top player, that is willing to coach? So someone that is shown that they are more skilled in solo queue. And I know solo queue is a whole other aspect to it, but they have knowledge that maybe a low silver player does not have. They have to be committed to practicing as well. So even if one day you log in and there's only 3 members on, that coach could still work with those 3 members if they're willing to practice. That little bit of knowledge can go a long way.
But the
Very
point
long
is, none of it's getting done at this point. So
It's
that's
not.
why we're bringing up coaches. That's why we're bringing up practice. All in the same episode, because all of these things work in
Sync
tandem.
together.
Because
Yep.
I'm going to make this statement, and I dare you, and I need you not to laugh. But the D in EDSL seems to be missing. the development. I said don't laugh.
I tried not to. But,
We're children, you know this.
Good
we're all
Lord.
children at heart. But yes,
Bruh,
I agree. I do agree with
the
that. The
D in
development part.
EDSL is missing, and it's not only due to EDSL. We have tools, EDSLs. We have the
I
tools.
I agree. It's a big part of the community more than ESDL.
Right.
Mhm.
I agree there are things they do need to improve to help with the development aspect to it, but they still have given you tools up to this point. They've
Eh,
given you the free videos. They've given you a team to join and work with. They've given you set games. You need to put in the effort as a player to make this an enjoyable aspect and a learning aspect. I've learned, shockingly enough, I've learned a lot in going on 12 weeks of ESDL. In only the coming up to the end of my second season, I have learned a lot more playing
Right.
in the jungle because of a team atmosphere and taking what my teammates have said into consideration and listening and working it into my own gameplay. Some of that has gone over to solo queue and it has helped in solo queue, but it also continues to help in team play and making my ESDL experience more enjoyable. Put in the effort, just like like you want ESDL to do. They will help
Exactly.
you. You need to also be willing to help yourself. It's
I
not
agree.
a one-way road.
I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. But like I said, I mean, they're working on incentives. They're working on all of these pieces, but without the community saying what their big issues is, they're kind of shooting in the dark at what we need to be a stronger community. You know what I mean? And that's
We
what this
need everyone to take that step forward and be willing to step up and help each other.
exactly. So training, training and coaching don't only have to come from a coach. If
It
you're,
comes from yourself and the team that you play on.
I mean, let's put things into perspective. I played one season, got sick. I got second, found out it wasn't for me. I'm a caster. I like yelling. That's the thing. Anyway, I'm a caster. I like yelling. That's what I do. But as a caster, I've now gone into my regular bronze games because again, I'm not that high. I'm bronze. I'm stuck. Like I'm stuck. Don't try to get me. I'm down here. Like just leave me. I'm already drowning. Leave me be.
Mhm.
So I found myself yelling, hearing myself yell, and not falling for the same mistakes that I yell at people to fall for. Like, don't face check that bush. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And I hear my own brain saying, "Bro, don't face check that bush. What's wrong with you?" And I'll go all the way around, and there were people in there. I'm like, "Holy snap!" And I start playing smarter. Like, why would I engage on that? They getting beat this whole time. Now they want to fight. Who coming? And by watching so many games, I've done. So there's more than one way to train. Watching games in the ESDL is a way to train. Hearing our after interviews on what you thought and what everybody thought and each play broken down to the point we're getting you the information to make smarter decisions.
Yeah.
That's what League is about. Making smarter decisions and being present in the game.
Well, definitely. Um,
Preach. But another big thing, and I have it written down here, is the season's schedule.
mm,
The season schedule is broken down into a 4-week round robin, then a 2-week playoff, and then I'm guessing no, a 1-week playoff,
it's 2 week playoff,
two
but
week
Best of three
2 week
series.
best of 3.
2 week playoff, best of 3 series.
Okay, so my question is, why isn't all the games best of 3?
I'm weird on this topic because what I personally want and what I think makes more sense are two different things. So if you look, for example, at the LCS,
Right.
they of course have more teams, longer seasons, stuff like that. But they
Right.
only do one game every week against somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could see ESDL going down that road, and
when
then
we get more teams.
But that's the thing. That's something I also want to add is I would like more teams in each division. I don't think 4 teams is enough, and I don't think it's enjoyable for a lot of people knowing they're versing the same 3 teams over and over again. I think if you made it more into like an 8, even 10 team league and extended out the weeks a little further, I think it'd be a lot more enjoyable, and you'd actually see a lot more interesting games and more competition coming out of
Just even
the time.
like 6 teams, because I know we don't have that many in ESDL, but just getting out of that 4 even number and changing it to 6 to where it's just not as stale.
And I think that's the thing is it does get stale. I think it gets stale pretty quickly because that one team, the team that we're about to be playing this upcoming Wednesday, this will now be our 3rd meeting against them in 6 weeks. So we played them week 1, we played them week 4, and now we have them in the championship game. Now, I mean, that's great in the aspect of we now have a lot of experience against each other, which should make us more prepared. But in other people's minds, not me personally yet, per se, but it is going to get stale. You don't want to keep seeing the same team over and over again constantly. Expand the division, even if it's 2 more teams, and add another couple more weeks. It's going to make it more interesting. And I know you just said that there may not be enough teams, but I hate to say it, there are still a lot of players out there that still aren't even drafted yet.
Yep. If you check
There
LOL
is a
Based off of
lot.
rank.
There is a lot of players that are not drafted yet. Now, it could just be because maybe a ton of people signed up right after drafting and they just haven't been drafted yet because it's not drafting day yet. It could be something like that. There are plenty of players to fill out these gaps. I think, at least from what we can see.
But we don't want to
Maybe
just
not
fill
to
out
that
the
extent.
See, the
We don't want
problem
to fill
is
out the gaps. We want to make teams that have compatibility with each other.
I agree. We don't want to just mix together a plat with a silver. I get it. We need to keep the ranks close together and keep the divisions close together.
Right.
Maybe that's
if you
something we need to look more in depth with on the ESDL portion of it, on the drafting process. Look more in depth with it and see if they can find a way to expand it without making it too unfair. I think no matter what you're going to run into is you're going to run into a mismatch in certain situations. Last season, we had a couple golds, a high silver that was basically gold, and then 2 bronze players. Nothing against the bronze players at all. We made what we had work as best we could. But you can see the mismatch. It's not going to be a perfect draft process, obviously.
right.
Fine with that.
But before
But
you continue on,
go
right?
ahead.
Before you continue on, that brings me to a point. I'm gonna talk about my season a little bit, and a certain team that is still playing in the ESDL today. And shout outs to them. Daikon Tactics. I don't know if I'm saying their name right. Daikon Tactics. They were down in BB with us in our last split. And out of all of the teams there, they were the only gold, like high silver, low gold team. And again, I'm mentioning this for the 3rd time because I am proud of it. I am a bronze player. I haven't got touched silver.
And a Nautilus, man.
We didn't ask who I've mained, bro. I said I'm a bronze player. So, as a bronze player, and I think this is where one of the reasons we're having so many substitution problems is because people feel that this is unfair. That they can't beat these people because they're higher.
And
So I
can
want to
definitely
tell
see
you,
that.
I
can see
want
that
to tell you a story.
Mhm.
So our first meeting with Daikon Tactics, we meet them and they crush us with this Yasuo pick down bottom. We weren't prepared for it. We made a bunch of amateur mistakes. They crush us. So and this is week 2. So then we play them again for the second game, and we get close, but we lose. We start winning early game, but we give the lead back to them. We lose. And they interviewed us afterwards and said, "Hey man, we know you, we know you're a little no, don't take no sympathy on me. Get off me. We're coming back. We got 4 weeks. We going to see you in the finals and it's going down." And my team was with me saying, "Hey, nah, we could have beat we just didn't know Yasuo was coming. We didn't if we'd have known it was Yasuo, we would have dealt with you." Now we are low bronze, 100%. So shout out to Inting to Death, Spanish. I can't never say his name right. Draxper, Draxper, and everybody that was on Patrick for President. Yes,
Patrick for president.
yes, ESDL Patrick for President. Why? Because that dude was on it. Every time we needed somebody gone,
And he
was
still
on
is.
it. He was
real
on
talk,
it, bro.
Real quick. Patrick, seriously, God, you were the freaking top supporter guy, and you were there for everybody. Anytime someone needs much
Not to
love for you,
mention-
man.
Bro,
much,
Your
much
memes
love
are
much.
for you.
fire.
Much love. So, Patrick for President goes on to win every other game. We stumped every other team because we knew we were going to face Daikon Tactics. We wanted that. And so we were like, all right, cool. We got a week before we get to face Daikon Tactics. We need to get into practice. We got into practice, came up with a team composition, ran it. We got close, but still lost.
But I bet you that game was a hell of a lot closer than what it was the first time you ran through them.
Exactly, because you don't sharpen steel with cotton. You sharpen it with steel. Playing in your comfort zone only means you can beat somebody that is your level. We're looking to develop. The D is not missing in ESDL. Develop people.
And
Listen to me.
you know what else probably help you guys' situation? The practice aspect of it. You guys took the time to practice with each other leading up to that over the weeks. You worked on chemistry. You built a chemistry.
Right.
And made that game closer than what it probably would have been if you guys chose not to practice at all.
And let me make this clear.
Go into that game.
I didn't stop casting. I didn't stop working. I didn't stop being a father of 2. I didn't stop being a husband. None of that.
What you take? Maybe 1, maybe 2 days for a couple hours each?
Like not even a couple of hours. We did practice where we scouted them and figured out who they liked to play, and we went into it thinking, all right, cool, this goes well against this goes well against that. We're gonna take this type of comp and let's go into an actual match and practice that comp and see how that comes out. And it didn't feel good playing somebody I don't know. I don't know how to play Brand, but he was fire. You know what I mean? Literally and figuratively. He was fire. You know what I mean? He was literally and figuratively fire. And we ended up coming closer with that pick because that was something they didn't expect from me. You expect tanks and attackers from me. Nah, I could throw spells too, son. I could do that. Not well. I miss a lot, but it's all right. I'm getting better. But the point is, I feel like we get a lot of subbing because people are afraid of developing. People are afraid of facing a team that they think they're going to lose to.
It's definitely a mix of things, but that is one of the big ones for sure. And the other stuff mixed in would be the toxicity, which we'll get more in depth with on Friday. And then it also has to do with people not willing to be a team player. There's plenty of things that go into it, and we could sit here all night and go over everything, and it still wouldn't be enough because there's just so much to go over.
Yeah.
But the main aspect of it is be helpful to the team that you are drafted to. And if there is a problem, don't be afraid to get in a report and either get redrafted to a new team or get out the toxic player. There's so much that can be done instead of just sitting there quietly, sitting through 6 weeks of no fun League of Legends and then wasting $25.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's absolutely silly.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is here for you to develop your skills in league and become a team player, and possibly make something from this league. Like they give you the tools, they give you the time,
And believe
and
it or not, you truly can develop into a better player if you put in the effort.
I mean, I've improved so much since joining.
Yeah.
Like, I was silver 2 AD carry, and like literally after these 6 weeks of playing with these guys, I'm now at gold 3. I mean, it's four divisions.
It's not a crazy improvement, but it's an
And she
improvement.
stopped walking forward.
Yeah. Now I walk backwards
With an
into the
occasional forward
side,
step here and there.
so I can get into range again. Yeah.
But I also want to shout out our first community event. Our first community event coming up is the clip show, the clip contest. If you're not aware, the clip contest is going, and we're making a flyer right now. We're making a flyer. You can download game summary, and I'm going to, and I believe in that video I already put out how to get it, where you get it from, how to find
In the
it
community video.
in the
And
community update. So if you
we'll
haven't
repost it if you need it as
right,
well. So
if
don't
you
worry.
haven't found the community update, go ahead and do that, and send us your best clips. They can only be clipped from 9:30 to the week of 10/11. So that's 1 week. Okay? So they can only be clipped within that week. Okay? And then we're going to make a clip show, and then they're going to decide who our top 5 clips are. We're gonna vote. We're gonna decide who our top 5 clips are. Then we're
I'm
gonna.
expecting to see some flashy plays. I hate to say it's some selfish plays, but at least be on top of it if you're going to be selfish and make
I'm
sure
just
you
gonna bring
really
out the
look good
ash.
doing it. You
So
don't get included in that. We don't.
exactly.
Howling discluded us from it. I'm a little upset. I
Exactly.
got some sick Nautilus plays to show.
You're not included if you're a community ambassador because
Unfortunate.
you guys are the judges. Ooh,
Yo,
you
we're
get
gonna break out the. We're gonna make some alt accounts, and he'll never know.
bruh. I won't
Yep.
know. I don't know. I was like, wait a minute. I know that Nautilus play. It's know that play. And if I see any ash, I'm like, it's planking. Get it out of
Wow.
here. So don't play ash. I'm just gonna
I will say this. I'm not gonna say a name, but if you see an ash that has klepto, believe me, it's not planking. We know who it is, but it ain't planking. So if you're listening,
It's an
to this
abomination.
later,
It's an abomination.
drop the klepto. The klepto does not work for everybody.
It
bruh,
does not.
bruh. All right,
Bruh.
bruh. Well,
Bruh.
all right. Well, and that's our show. I'm glad. If you're hearing this, I'm glad you tuned in. And if you're watching this, tune in again. Again, this is the ESDL Insider Podcast. I'm XX Howling XX,
I am X Factor 709.
I'm blinking dino.
and we will see you next time. Remember, remove all toxicity from the EDSL because we don't need it here.
ESDL.
That's what I said.
You said
Right?
Almost, but
EDSL.
we
Wait,
know what
what?
you meant.
Wait, what did I say?
You said
EDSL.
EDSL.
I said words.
Not the right ones, but we know what you meant.
Bruh! Remove all toxicity from the league, and we will be here to report your news next time. This is the community ambassadors signing out. Have a good one.